About local politics, Pop-Off Politics is up to bat. We do this every Tuesday morning. Joining me once again is KPRC2 investigative reporter Mario Diaz. Together we break down an agenda item in this week's City Council, and we do this for a few reasons, right?
Yeah, obviously because it impacts all of us. That's the first reason. And the second here is because you have to remember something. These are public dollars, which means that we're all paying for it. And this week's agenda is 156 pages with 45 agenda items. And this week we really wanted to focus on one agenda item. And I got to tell you, I feel kind of like Doc Brown here and Marty McFly because we are going to go deep into the future. Okay, 5 years. Here is the agenda item. Number 30, ordinance approving and authorizing paperwork agreement for the 2028 GOP National Convention, okay?
Interesting. So we're not talking about sports. We're not talking about Space City. We're talking about the GOP convention here.
But, you know, I was thinking maybe it was going to be a big announcement, maybe a Formula One race or something like that.
World Cups in a few years.
Right, we're getting everything. But you have to remember something, okay? A convention is a really, really big deal for any city when they land it, okay? And you have to remember that this isn't just really about party politics here. This is about what's best for the city. And the mayor made that very clear. They've been trying to land a convention here in the city of Houston for quite some time in terms of a political convention. We did see one back here in the 90s, or 92. And that was over at the Astrodome. But now what they're looking for is to get the GOP convention in 2028. And here's what Mayor Turner said. His office sent the statement over to me. City of Houston and Houston First submitted bids for both the DNC and RNC conventions. I am pleased but not surprised that we are finalists in the process of 2028. Also spoke with the Director of Special Events for the Mayor's Office, a woman named Susan Christian. You can see that her quote is, I think we have a great chance because Houston is, this is the mayor's other line. I'm sorry, let me get to the mayor's part. It is not about party politics. It's about people and the pride that we feel as the nation's fourth largest city and most diverse and inclusive city here in the United States. So that was Mayor Turner's. I spoke comments on this, and it's important to remember something, okay? This isn't about party politics. This is a big deal for the city of Houston if they can land the RNC convention in 2028.
Well, there's a big economic impact.
Without a doubt. Okay, so you're looking at cities across the nation who have hosted these in the past. And you have the ability here to actually generate so much money for your city. You have Milwaukee that's going to be hosting it in 2024. According to the Milwaukee Tourism Board, it's going to be about $200 million that they're expecting in the neighborhood. The same thing with the city of Chicago. They're expecting numbers between the neighborhood of $150 to $200 million. That's according to Mayor Lightfoot. So fast forward, because at the times, inflation, more travel, more build out in Houston, you have it looking at it. You can easily project $200 million come 2028. That's a lot of money. Yes, it is a lot of money. It's a lot of opportunity. But what's intriguing about this, right, Zach, is now let's get to the politics part. Because remember Mayor Turner, this has nothing to do with party politics, right? But it does, in that the Republicans are saying we are going to go to the biggest blue dot in the state of Texas, and we're going to go have our convention there. That's
strategy.
This is a strategy. It also speaks to the bigger issue here, what they're looking at for the future. That routinely what you have with these conventions is that you have them in battleground states. You don't tend to have them in strongholds for your party.
You already have.
Right, because you want to be able to say, look, we're bringing money and jobs, because there are jobs connected to these conventions. They're massive conventions, and we're making this impact in your city. So let's say, for example, a city like Milwaukee, it's a battleground state in Wisconsin, right?
Swing state.
Right, exactly. And in the past, you had it like at Charlotte. You had it in North Carolina, another swing state. You had it in Ohio in 2016. I was there, another swing state. You had it in Philadelphia in 2016, Pennsylvania. President Obama, 2008, was in Colorado, in Denver, swing state, battleground state. So it appears that we're starting to classify Texas as a potential battleground. We all know this, that there's a lot more money coming in the state, more influx. The Republicans do have a very, very strong hold in this state. You can just look at the leadership at the top level. However, it's interesting to see them come into the biggest blue dot in the state of Texas and start trying to examine the potential here, Zach, of having this convention here. Miami's another place that's in the running. Miami, Florida is a battleground state.
Jacksonville went through this right before the pandemic.
Right.
Almost secured it.
They got it, right. And, and then they got it because of default because of the pandemic.
Yes.
And you saw that money come in there.
And then it was, yeah.
But next year, it's interesting. The Democrats are going to be in Chicago next year. And Illinois is not a battleground state. That's a stronghold for Democrats. So here's the totals that we were talking about earlier. Upcoming conventions, Milwaukee's the Republicans, Chicago are the Democrats, projected to be $200 million for both of those cities in that neighborhood, for 2024. And again, imagine what this could be for Houston in 2020.
You know, I want to go back to, we touched upon the economic impact, but we also touched upon the fact that Houston is about to host major events.
Right.
Is this normal to be talking about conventions this far out when we have these other major events before that?
Great point and a good question. It really isn't, because as you were indicating, whether you're a city like a Tampa, I remember when Tampa was competing for it. You remember Jacksonville. Usually it's just a couple of years out. It's not this far out, but there's a strategy in place, experts are saying, with regards to selecting these cities in advance, as if to say, we're going to come there, we're going to start making our presence known early on. Whether or not that strategy works remains to be seen. In a place like Texas, where you're already in a red state, it's going to be intriguing to see. But again, in 5 years from now, things could be quite different. And we've been seeing elections get a little bit tighter in certain areas. You see certain seats, and then you have Republicans that are flipping seats as well. It's part of politics.
This is definitely a talker story.
But
Mario
it's on the
Diaz.
agenda item for this week.
Okay. Very good, sir. Thank you so much for stopping by. You had double duty this morning, so we appreciate it.
And really, thank you. I just want to make sure that this is about the framework. For the bid. This is all about the framework for the bid, which has really been a very solid presentation from the individuals that I've spoken to here. So it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. Okay, so this is something we do every Tuesday. Every Tuesday we do this. And if there's something that you want Mario to look into, especially on the agenda, if there's an item that you think needs serious consideration, send him an email. His email address is right there at the bottom of your screen. Really simple.
mdiaz, M-D-I-A-Z, at KPRC.com. You will be back next week with what you need to know when it comes to the city of Houston spending your taxpayer dollars.
Right. And sometimes it doesn't just impact the residents in the city, because there are situations in Houston.
The airport.
Exactly. Our public dollars, which at the end of the day, everyone around this area pays for.
Okay. All good stuff. Thank you, sir.
All right.